The way we experience time is a strange one, isn't it? You might be excited about something or in anticipation of something, and to you it feels like time is either moving faster or slower, but your clock was ticking at the same speed the whole time. So who's right? Is it your subjective experience or the neutral clock? We live in a world where most people believe the clock is right, where time is linear, where things happened to you before, they're happening right now, and they're going to happen in the future. But in a universe that seems to favor cycles, why or how does the concept of time get a special exemption? How are we able to experience cycles at every stage of existence and still believe that none of it applies to the passing of time? And oddly enough, the reason that leads us into thinking time is linear is actually quite familiar to us because we faced this situation a few times before. You see, the reason we think time is linear is the exact same reason that led us to believe the Earth was flat. The Earth is just so big in relation to us that the curvature is hard to see without a telescope, which tricked some folks that lived here a while back into thinking it's flat. And time itself is exactly the same. We can't feel the curvature of time because it's too big. Or more specifically, our planetary concept of time is too big. Because being part of a different scale doesn't just mean our planet is physically bigger than us. It means the time scale needs to be different also. Our brain cells, for example, they're moving fast compared to us. And at the same time, our scale is moving fast in relation to our planet scale. And our planet scale will be moving fast in relation to the galactic scale and so on. But just to clarify, when I say we're moving fast in relation to our planet, I'm not saying our planet is moving slow. The Earth is currently moving at speeds of over 60,000 miles per hour, so it's definitely not slow. But for someone at a scale above our own, the same speed will change completely. Here's an example. A full spin around the sun for us is a year, but anyone at the scale of our planet would probably see the Earth circling the sun in a matter of hours. And if someone even higher up the scale, like the scale of our own galaxy for example, if they could somehow observe the same movement, they would see the Earth moving as fast as we would see atoms spinning around their nucleus. The Earth is not moving slow compared to us. It's the scale of the Earth which is moving slow in relation to our scale. So regardless of how fast our planet's moving to our eyes, it will appear to move at different speeds for different scales. The speed of every level or scale in the universe will be different depending on the scale of the observer. Our brain cells, ourselves, the planets, stars, galaxies, they're all going to be moving at the same speed, or what I'll refer to as real time in relation to themselves, but at faster and slower speeds in relation to whoever's up or down the scale. We move fast to the scale above us and slow to the scale below us. The significance of all this is that 9 months for us will never be 9 months for our planet. What we experience as real time will be a lot faster for our planet and also slower for our brain cells. Our brain cells would be moving so fast and would be covering so much ground compared to us that for them it would feel like thousands of years have passed by the time our galaxy barely moves at all. For our brain cells, those thousands of years would all feel normal. Time wouldn't feel like it's running in slow or fast motion for them, even though they're actually moving in fast motion in relation to us. Think of the inside of the womb, where the brain cells of the fetus multiply by the billions. A whole network is up and running by the time the fetus is ready for birth. For the fetus, this network of billions only needed 40 weeks to establish itself. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? Do you want to know how nature is able to pull this off? Well, nature's secret is that it doesn't pull it off, because you can't create a system of individual cells in 40 weeks. You'd need a lot longer than that. It's like saying humanity could reach the level of experience and development that we have now after thousands of years of being here, and to say we could somehow reach the exact same place in 40 weeks. We can't, but we don't need to, because for our planet, the thousands of years that we've experienced so far will only feel like a few weeks. This is how nature is able to create a full system of billions of individual cells with different complex functions in such a ridiculously short amount of time. By applying a longer time frame to the complex system and have the person benefiting from this system, in our case the fetus, experience the full process in a fraction of that time. I mean, you might not want to believe this, but our own planet is only about 30-something weeks old for anyone who inhabits the scale of the planets and stars. And at the same time, the Earth is a lot older for us, the brain cells. We can reach that conclusion that the Earth, or more specifically, the body of the fetus connected to our Earth, is well into its third trimester in relation to all the other planets because we've reached a critical point in its development. We're at the point where the brain cells of the fetus, all of us, are exposed to the idea that our planet is inside a womb. And if you're listening to these words right now, you might not believe it because you're not hearing this anywhere else. But don't worry. If our planet is getting its life from an outside source, if it's surrounded by a salty fluid, if it seems like it's in isolation, and if everything we've been through translates to a few short weeks for our planet, if this is all true, then soon enough everyone will know and understand it. So trust your instincts and remember that even though our planet's gestation feels a lot longer for us, it still needs to end at some point. And knowing about it is the very first step towards that inevitable future.